Alright, so we're now looking at chapter 4, which is entitled The General Formula for Capital. In the last chapter, we looked at the circulation of commodities, but we're going to find that the end result of the circulation of commodities, which is the end goal of capitalism, will be profit. In other words, turning money into more money. And so all capital first takes the form of money, and the only difference between regular money and capital will be its circulation. And so we saw before, I don't have it written here, but the circulation of commodities took the form of CMC, by which one buys owns a commodity, sells it for money, and then that uses that money to buy another commodity. But capital, on the other hand, is going to take a different form. Its circulation will be expressed as money, commodity, money, particularly with an increment which represents having more money than what you originally started with. So you have a certain amount of money, you buy a commodity, and then you sell it for more money. And that is going to be the formula for the circulation of capital. And so capital takes the circuit of MCM, where the increment on the top of M represents turning money into more money. And so if we look at the formula, we have the first sum of money, which is what is advanced, and then the second sum of money, the greater sum, which is realized. And this process of capital turning money into more money is what Marx is going to refer to as value in motion. And that is the whole point of the capitalist system of production. And so we'll notice in the commodity circuit, the first formula of where commodity, money, commodity, that is intended for the satisfaction of desires. It's intended for use values, which are then used and consumed. But capital, on the other hand, of money, commodity, money, this advances money with the intention of getting it back in a greater sum. In other words, its intentions are not use values, but exchange values. And so how Marx then differs from the classical economists in this point is that capitalism is not a barter system of swapping different commodities, but is a monetary production system. Its whole point is to turn money into more money. And so we're going to find out later in the book, how then does money become more money from itself? Well, it's going to be through surplus value. And so in this equation here, the difference between the last sum of money, the sum that is realized, and the sum that is advanced will be what that sum of surplus value is in the capital. And so the expansion of MCM, the expansion of capital, is going to be limitless in Marx's system. And so I actually just wanted to read a quote here about the limitless expansion of capital, because it's a series on Marx, so why not actually read some Marx? The simple circulation of commodities, selling in order to buy, is a means of appropriation of use values, the satisfaction of wants. The circulation of money as capital is, on the contrary, an end in itself, for the expansion of value takes place only within this constantly renewed movement. The circulation of capital has therefore no limits. As the conscious representative of this movement, the possessor of money becomes a capitalist. His person, or rather his pocket, is the point from which the money starts and to which it returns. The expansion of value, which is the objective basis or mainspring of the circulation MCM, becomes his subjective aim, and it is only insofar as the appropriation of ever more and more wealth in the abstract becomes the sole motive of his operations. That he functions as a capitalist, that is, as capital personified and endowed with consciousness and a will, use values must therefore never be looked upon as the real aim of the capitalist. Neither must the profit on any single transaction. The restless, never-ending process of profit-making alone is what he aims at. This boundless greed after riches, the passionate chase after exchange value, in common to the capitalist and the miser. But while the miser is merely a capitalist gone mad, the capitalist is a rational miser. The never-ending augmentation of exchange value which the miser strives after by seeking to save his money from circulation is attained by the more acute capitalist, by constantly throwing it afresh into circulation. I'm getting a fucking phone call. And so you'll notice that the money in the formulation of capital of MCM is not actually spent but advanced. It is employed with the sole intention of getting it back. And so another point to make as well is that capital can be a commodity. Marx isn't just saying that capital can only take the form of money, but it can only expand its value in its money form. And so if one is willing to grow their capital, they must convert that capital into money, buy a commodity, and then sell it and have it received as a greater sum of money than what they advanced.